can you hear me? In response to that, I think the vicar probably had it right at the beginning of the cathedral rehearsal last night. This being Ollie, it's a little bit different. Firstly, thank you, Ollie, on behalf of Laura's bridesmaids, Betsy and Lorna, for your kind words, and for having them play a part in this special day. They both look fantastic. And I know that from the hen do and dress choice chat, they've both done an excellent job helping Laura prepare for her big day with helpful ideas and enthusiasm. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you would like to join me in congratulating Ollie on his spectacularly stat-soaked speech. It was very witty, original, amusing, and reflective of obvious effort that had gone into it. In fact, with Ollie, it's worth pointing out that such traits are fairly commonly exhibited. And to help build your impression of the man a little further, I'll regale you now, if I may, with a few more examples. Pleasingly, we're speaking to Oliver's parents, Andrew and Verian, about the young Tyro's time at Blundell School. They recalled a story that set the tone for Ollie to this day. The school rugby team were progressing plans for a summer tour to South Africa. The boys were tasked with coming up with extra fundraising ideas. Perfect. Ollie loves rugby, helping out his mates, and money. What better scheme for the 17-year-old lad to come up with than getting his sponsorship from his school chums to cartwheel down the centre aisle of the school chapel, just as everyone's filing in for morning prayer, yeah. So he collected all the money up in advance, no fooling Ollie, well done there. There he went, cartwheeling down the middle of the aisle with the rest of the school laughing, thinking, this is hilarious, go Ollie. Everyone apart from the headmaster, who made sure all the money went to the Terence Higgins Trust. Don't know why he chose that. And so on to 3 years studying history at the University of Bristol. History benefited Ollie in two ways. It fed his voracious appetite for reading, and it also gave his sponge-like memory the opportunity to still find a quick historical reference today. There are not many stag do's one goes on where the confined spaces of the group accommodation are given monikers after the infamous concentration camps Belsen and the Treblinka. University is also where Ollie became involved with the Wandering Hands rugby team. Set up by Phil Howarth and, it's fair to say, taken on by Ollie, developed and enhanced. Thanks to the drive and commitment by Ollie, this team has given many of us in the room our closest friendships, as well as offshoots including the Wandering Hands Touch Rugby Club, the Wandering Hands Ski Trips and the Wandering Hands Bristol Gaming Club. During his third and final year, while Ollie was many of us were looking forward to our fourth year, Ollie thought long and hard about what his future career might be. So he decided to enrol to the University of West of England for a law conversion course. There was definitely nothing to do at all with the fact that Ollie saw this as the most viable way to stay in Bristol for another year and play with us. It was during that fourth year that Ollie, Pete, Lars, Rick and I in Hans Towers started to get some more exposure to Ollie's eccentricities. He bought a house of rabbit, which brought good entertainment by being allowed to hop around the living room, spend as much time indoors as possible. It was really fun for us, especially getting to watch Ollie go around having to pick up the droppings behind him. Most importantly, though, I became alerted to the fact that this boy compiles a lot of spreadsheets. King of these, and I know it's okay to mention it because Laura said it was her favourite and most amusing one, is sng.xls. XLS, Excel spreadsheet. SNG, snogs. Charting Ollie, and actually all of his friends to make it more worthwhile and interesting, this then developed in a behemoth of graphs and stats, and a little helpful description along the way as well of any lady that maybe deemed the young man lucky enough. And for anyone concerned here today as to whether University Ollie was punching to the same weight as today with the beautiful Laura, here's a marvellous run of form. Oliver, age 20, housemate's sister, surprisingly hard work. 20 again. Silent dancing dwarf. 20.1. Workmate 1. Kitchens direct. 20.1 again. Workmate 2. Bristol and West. 20.3. Dark corner of the nightclub IQ. ... Mistake. I think you could probably say the answer is no. Post-university, Ollie got a training contract with McFarlane's law firm in London. He settled down to his carefully chosen career. After a period of time, he realised the big smoke was not really for him, quit and headed over to the Alps to do a ski season. Here he discovered the fun that could be had from drinking red wine, skiing really fast, if a little recklessly, and people falling out of bunk beds. Following this, Ollie returned to the UK and came to live in Bristol on my sofa bed for a few months, during which time he secured a new job at Veal Wasbridge, being a solicitor again, and where he is still performing a sterling job to this day. Almost as sterling a job as he does here at this rugby club, Old Bristolians. Ollie's turned out numerous times and scored numerous tries. See his spreadsheets. And been a massive contributor off the pitch too, it's fair to say. He produces highly amusing match reports on a weekly basis. He stepped up to and taught himself the role of sports club treasurer. And at the recent club dinner, having won Clubman of the Year award in 2011, he was very narrowly missed out as being the first person ever to be consecutively awarded it 2 years in a trot. It's a mistake by the guy reading up the awards. He truly is a good club man. Ollie is also a true, loyal and close friend to a remarkably large number of people. He easily outstrips everyone else's emails, texts, calls and efforts to meet up. He goes the extra yard in facilitating occasions for us all to get together. Thank you very much for today, Ollie. Ollie's such a good friend. Oliver Morse recently emigrated to Australia, and he even considered flying back, especially for this weekend. He didn't, but definitely considered it. An example of this friendship, as well as his modesty, is the time Ollie and I found ourselves on a Sunday night out in Helsinki, the Finnish capital. Having decided to stay for an extra night than the rest of the rugby team we've been playing with in a 2-day tens tournament. The rugby tournament's over and it being Sunday night, there's a strangely less lively feel to the air in town. No trouble for us. A big bottle of orange Fanta later, heavily diluted with vodka. And we found a quiet karaoke restaurant, took the microphones off the stage, walked around the room, a full blast of Robbie Williams' Angels. We gave them the best time they were having that night for sure. Then we headed off to find ourselves a nightclub. Now Helsinki on a Sunday night was not really brimming over with options. So we took what was on offer, paid our entrance money, found ourselves in a reggae dance night. We were delighted to know that in addition to its obvious regulars and us, it was well attended by the biker convention that was in town that weekend. Tight smiles, a few more Fanta and vodkas. At some point during this, we managed to strike up chat with a couple of local, pretty local girls, mainly based around how out of place we felt compared to the rest of the merrymakers. Being single, I was quite keen to get to know one of the girls better, so Ollie, being a good chum, played the wingman role for me, and he sat on the seats opposite, chatting to my new friend's friend. Brilliant. I was enjoying some good chats. We were both laughing, pretty sure she played with her hair at some point. Everything seemed to be going really well. This is good. Then I got a text from Ollie. This must be serious. Remember, we were abroad. Sending a text abroad. Mate, hurry up. This one is deaf. And dumb. This is straight, I thought. I remember we were talking at the bar with both these girls. They were both fully conversant. What's he on about? Unfortunately, the girl I was with, she sort of texted too. So we both looked across concerned, and saw that Ollie was there, chatting away, next to a girl with eyes glazed over, body slumps, she was nearly lifeless. What was going on here? As soon as her friends saw it, the two girls rapidly disappeared, taxi ranking away into the night. Mate, I thought that was going quite well. Thanks to wingmanning and everything, but what happened? Ollie says, well, she didn't really have much chat, so basically, I just told her about all my tries this weekend. Asked Ollie about his face, and to his face, and his opinion on public lovey-dovey. I think he got close to gushy tonight, but he has told me in the past he's cripplingly uncomfortable with it. Seems only right, therefore, that this and his heavy stat speech aside, I should labour the points a little for him. Ollie may from time to time act like he's at his happiest when Laura's away with the horses and he can get on with his list making and video editing. And when I took him aside around the time he and Laura were preparing to move in together, his reasoning was a little bit more Spock-like logic than Mr. Darcy romance. Well, yeah, they say living together will test the relationship, so better to find out sooner rather than later and waste time. And she'll chip in with the rent. I would like though to refer him forward 10 months from that time to summer 2007. And the holiday he and I went on to a friend's villa in Portugal for a week, leaving Laura behind. And Ollie got there boasted. I'm not going to use my phone all week, save myself a few pennies. Alright mate, well done. And was doing really well. We were mucking around by the pool, on the beach. And day 3 I wandered into the bedroom. What's he doing? He's hunched over on his phone. Ollie, what about your big boast, mate? He said, yeah, well, I was going to not use my phone, but I do love her. I've covered how Ollie is dedicated, he's fun to be around, and once when Holly the Glanville exclaimed to me, oh, how clever Ollie is, when he'd reeled off yet another quote from somewhere or other, I said, come on, he's not clever, he's just got a really good memory. It's fair to say he is quite intelligent as well. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to cover here how easily stressed out he is. It's brilliant. He's the most risk-averse and conservative person in the world. And nor have I covered anywhere near how frugal he is. I have tried. What I can add is it's a great privilege to be asked by Ollie to stand before you today, especially considering how he's a tremendous friend to a lot of people here tonight. And his family are very proud of him and delighted, as we all are, to see you marrying Laura today. And so now it does give me the immense pleasure to invite you all to stand once more and raise your glasses in a toast. Mr. and Mrs. Poole. Mr. and Mrs. Poole, we wish you well for the future. To love, life and laughter, to happiness ever after, to Ollie and Laura.